It's 1638 on the 14th of November 2025. In the South China Sea, the U.S. destroyer USS John Finn cuts through choppy gray water on what should be a routine freedom of navigation patrol. Then the calm breaks. The AEGIS radar lights up with two hard contacts rushing in from the west. On the bridge, voices sharpen, alarms buzz. Status boards flip from green to yellow as the ship shifts toward a higher alert posture. Sailors jog down narrow passageways, strapping on life vests, slamming watertight doors, sliding into combat information seats. Outside, two Chinese Type 52D destroyers close inside 2 nautical miles, their sleek hulls turning to angle weapons toward the American ship. A bright green laser starts painting the MH-60R Seahawk circling overhead, while hostile fire control radar locks on like a fingertip pressed to a trigger. For a long second, nobody breathes. One wrong reaction here doesn't just risk a single patrol, it could light up the entire region. The South China Sea is one of the busiest waterways on the planet. Tankers, cargo ships, and fishing fleets move through these lanes every hour, carrying the fuel, food, chips, and consumer goods that quietly power daily life back home. If this flow slows down, Americans don't see warships on the horizon. They see higher prices, empty shelves, and worried headlines. On this patrol, USS John Finn is assigned a familiar but loaded mission, a freedom of navigation operation, a public way of saying that no single country owns these waters. The ship's job is to sail a lawful course, stay predictable, and calmly ignore any attempt to shove it aside. But today, that simple idea runs straight into 2 Chinese Type 52D destroyers closing the distance, flashing lasers at a U.S. helicopter, and snapping their fire control radar into attack mode. For Washington, backing off now would echo far beyond this patch of sea. Allies in Japan, the Philippines, and across the region watch closely to see if the U.S. will still show up when things get tense. If America hesitates, Beijing can quietly expand its control, more no-go zones, more pressure on neighbors, more doubt about U.S. promises. If someone overreacts, though, one bad second could trigger a collision, a volley of shots, and a crisis that sends markets crashing worldwide. Inside John Finn, the objective is brutally clear. Hold course, avoid a shooting war, and soak up every bit of radar and electronic data the Chinese ships are throwing off. This is a high-risk harvest of intelligence every second their systems stay in attack mode. U.S. sensors are listening. Some people watching this standoff would demand the ship stand rock solid. Others would pull back to cool things down. If you were in command right now, would you press 1 to hold the line or 9 to break contact and disengage? 1645. The first minutes of the standoff stretch out like hours. Inside the Combat Information Center, screens glow with tight clusters of data coming off the 2 Type 52D destroyers. Their fire control radar pulses in steady, aggressive bursts, an unmistakable signal that they want John Finn to feel boxed in. The U.S. ship holds course anyway. A steady heading is the clearest way to show the patrol is legal, routine, and not open for negotiation. The Seahawk helicopter circles wide, adjusting altitude to avoid the bright Chinese laser sweeping past its flight path. The crew inside calls down updated bearings, capturing every radar spike, every electronic signature thrown their way. This is exactly what the commander expected, a dangerous but valuable window to collect intelligence. Every system the Chinese ships turn on becomes another thread for analysts to pull apart later. Meanwhile, sailors on John Finn brace for escalation. Gun crews stand ready, missile hatches stay sealed but primed. The AEGIS SP-1DV radar tracks the 2 destroyers with calm precision, filtering out the noise and locking onto the essentials: their speed, angle, and how sharply they're adjusting course. Even with no shots fired, the tension cracks through the air like static. At 1652, one of the Chinese destroyers shifts position again, sliding across John Finn's bow at less than 2 nautical miles. It's a classic pressure move, close enough to intimidate, not close enough to count as an attack. The U.S. commander refuses the bait. Instead, he orders the ship to maintain speed, maintain bearing, and keep sensors locked in. A brief burst of interference flickers across the Seahawk's comms as the Chinese radar spikes again. The helicopter adjusts, stabilizes, and keeps recording. Every sweep, every change in power level, every electronic ripple adds to a growing treasure of SIGINT data so valuable that analysts back home would trade entire missions for just a fraction of it. By 1658, the air feels heavier, the horizon tighter. Both sides know they're operating inches from a mistake, but neither wants to be the one to break first. And still, John Finn sails forward, unshaken, collecting everything the moment has to offer. 17:5. The tension that began as a distant pressure now tightens into something sharper. Both Chinese destroyers shift formation, one moving wider, the other creeping in closer, trying to box John Finn between their arcs. The US crew instantly feels the change. This isn't posturing anymore, this is coordinated shaping, the kind of maneuver meant to test how far the Americans are willing to bend. The SPY-1DV radar tracks every subtle movement, but it's the electronic warfare suite that catches the next warning sign. A thin ripple of interference brushes across the ship's sensors, brief, controlled, deliberate. It's not enough to blind anything, just enough to say, "We can reach you if we choose to." Up above, the MH-60R Seahawk makes a sharper turn as another burst of laser light sweeps by. The helicopter adjusts again, gathering angle data and logging the timing of each pulse. The more aggressive the Chinese systems become, the richer the intelligence. But with every pass, the risk rises. A blinded sensor, a misread altitude cue, and the Seahawk could drop into the sea without a shot being fired. 17:12. The closer of the two Type 52D increases speed, sliding into a position barely outside what naval officers call the collision decision zone. It's the kind of move that forces a reaction, just not today. The commander of John Finn keeps the same calm tone he's had all afternoon. Maintain heading, maintain speed, maintain discipline. The goal isn't to win a brawl, it's to deny China the incident they seem to be fishing for. Then the sea itself joins the fight. A rolling swell presses against the hull as both ships cut waves at converging angles. The slightest mistake, one hard turn, one missed call could turn steel against steel. Even without weapons firing, this is combat in every way except the final spark. By 1718, the crew can sense the Chinese destroyers are running out of new moves. Their formation tightens, then loosens, then holds hesitating. It's a silent acknowledgement that John Finn won't be pressured off its course. And in moments like this, viewers always split. Some admire the resolve, others fear the cost of pushing back. If you were standing on that deck as the waves rose and the ships closed, would you press 1 to keep holding firm, or 9 to pull away before the next surge? 1723. Just as the standoff starts to feel predictable, something shifts soft at first, then unmistakable. The Chinese destroyer on John Finn's starboard side briefly cuts power, its wake folding unevenly. It looks like a mistake until the SPY-1DV radar catches a new signature rising from the surface clutter. Small, fast, riding low across the waves. Not a drone. An unmanned surface craft running silent. The commander orders tighter watch angles and redirects the Seahawk to widen its orbit. The helicopter dips, sensors angled down, trying to lock on to the tiny shape darting along the waterline. The craft hugs the destroyer's hull, hiding inside its radar shadow, sprinting in short bursts. This is the twist neither side wanted. A third asset slipping into the confrontation, one that doesn't follow normal signaling rules. Small surface craft can carry cameras, jammers, or a shaped charge. Their size makes them hard to classify and even harder to predict. John Finn's tension spikes again. The unmanned craft flickers in and out, appearing in white water, vanishing behind a wave, reappearing at a sharper angle. It's probing, watching, measuring reactions. "Keep it in the beam," the commander says, steady as ever. The electronic warfare suite shifts modes, catching every emission the craft leaks. If this was meant to rattle the crew, it does the opposite. Everyone is now locked in, gathering data, layer by layer. At 1727, the craft abruptly slows, turns, and slides back toward the shadow of the Type 52D that launched it. No attack run, no broadcast, no signature spike. It simply disappears into the destroyer's wake as if the test ended the moment the US proved it was alert. 1731. The moment the unmanned craft disappears, the tension tightens again. Both Chinese destroyers shift almost together, one edging forward, the other sliding outward, forming a slow pincer around John Finn. It's the most aggressive posture they've taken all day. The SPY-1DV radar runs rapid sweeps, feeding, firing data no one wants to use. Gun crews stay ready, hands steady on their stations, watching as the two gray hulls inch closer. One misread maneuver could turn this silent duel into something irreversible. Above, the Seahawk holds a tight orbit. The pilot reports the Chinese laser growing brighter and more deliberate. Still, the helicopter refuses to yield altitude, continuing to capture emissions from both destroyers. 1734. A sudden wave slams John Finn's starboard side as the nearest Type 52D accelerates. The range drops less than a mile now. At this distance, reaction time is measured in seconds. The ship's electronic warfare suite shifts modes automatically, readying countermeasures. Hold the line, the commander says, steady and controlled. The bridge steadies with him. John Finn keeps its heading, engines humming evenly, not turning, not slowing. The signal is clear. The mission continues. Then comes the sharpest moment of the standoff. The closer destroyer angles its bow a few degrees toward John Finn. Small, but enough to trigger every collision avoidance instinct in the room. For a breath, everything stills. Fingers hover over controls. Tension peaks, but the commander waits, studying the motion. Seconds later, the Chinese bow eases back. The destroyer settles parallel again. The second ship mirrors the shift, widening the formation and releasing pressure by inches. It's not retreat, but it's no longer a blade at the throat. 1738. The Seahawk sends the confirmation everyone was waiting for. The Chinese fire control radar finally drops out of attack mode. A long, quiet exhale moves through the CIC. No cheering, only controlled relief. John Finn continues forward. Sensors alive, systems calm. The two Type 52D begin pulling away, their wakes opening behind them. No collision, no missile, no shot fired. But close enough that every sailor knows how thin the margin truly was. The confrontation ends as quietly as it began. No missiles, no gunfire, no shattered hulls, just two Chinese destroyers fading back into the haze and one American ship holding steady on its planned course. But the silence that follows isn't victory, it's weight. Every sailor on John Finn feels it in the air, the way tension lingers after a moment that could have changed everything. In the CIC, consoles dim to calmer tones. Logs are saved, radar tracks archived, electronic signatures packaged for analysts waiting thousands of miles away. What the crew gathered in less than an hour could feed months of study power levels, radar modes, jamming patterns, laser timing, hull maneuvering. A near crisis became a treasure trove of intelligence. But strategically, the meaning reaches further. For the US, this standoff confirms that presence still matters, that a single ship, steady and disciplined, can stop an opponent from rewriting the boundaries at sea. Allies will see that America didn't flinch. Rivals will see that pressure didn't push the patrol off course. Yet everyone watching also understands the cost. China is growing bolder, more unpredictable, more willing to press the line without crossing it. These gray zone encounters are becoming the new normal. As the sun drops and the sea settles, John Finn continues on its phone-op track, unchanged. The crew moves with quiet purpose, no celebration, no speeches, just the steady work of a ship that knows how close it came. Tomorrow, the analysts will pore over every byte of data. Tomorrow, headlines might swirl. But for now, the ocean is calm again. Still, one question lingers long after the destroyers have vanished. In the next confrontation, should the United States keep holding firm or shift tactics before tensions edge even closer to the line? If you were in command, would you press 1 to stay resolute or 9 to pull back before the next standoff tightens even more?